Welcome back, wrestling fans. Things have piled up over here, and I frankly don't have enough time each month to keep up, so I'll be dropping down to 2 episodes a month. Although things may change in the future. Some of us root for heroes, others cheer for the villains, and a special small portion of us love a good underdog story. Today, we are talking about none other than little Spike Dudley. Welcome to Wrestling Through the Ages. Born August 13, 1970, out of Providence, Rhode Island, Matt graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts degree and was a third-grade teacher before entering the world of wrestling. He joined the California-based APW wrestling promotion and began wrestling boot camp in 1993 to become a referee and manager. But after the other wrestling trainees were dropping out, trainer Rick Thompson pushed Matt into becoming a wrestler. He debuted in 1994, wrestling the California Indies. He won 9 of 20 matches from March of 95 to August of 1996. Matt put together a highlight video and sent them to almost every wrestling company he could, but he was getting rejected by everyone, until one day ECW's Taz reached out to Matt and told him to come to New York. Matt packed up his car and moved his life across the states, and once in New York, he was picked up by Bubba Ray Dudley and jumped on the ECW bandwagon under a new in-ring moniker, Spike Dudley, joining the Dudley stable. He debuted on September 21st of 1996 in a series of matches tagging with Bubba Ray and taking on the likes of the Erotic Experience, JT Smith, Little Guido, and the Eliminators. He had a short singles feud with Chris Candido, as well as tagging with Bubba Ray, defeating Little Guido and Davey Pisano. The fans loved the 150-pound underdog, and 1997 was going to be cranked up a notch. Spike feuded with the Dudleys. He worked with and against everyone. He failed to capitalize on an ECW World Title match, losing to Raven on March 21st. He also lost the ECW World Championship match to Shane Douglas on April 19. Spike was featured on several ECW pay-per-views within his first year with the company. Near the end of 1997, Spike began an awesome feud against wrestling legend Bam Bam Bigelow, gaining lots of eyes on his work. And during September's As Good As It Gets, Spike took part in the now infamous ECW crowd surfing spot. Bam Bam lifted the little Dudley up, pitched him like yesterday's garbage into the crowd, to which the crowd caught him and surfed him around the arena. Spike was an amazing worker and took part in some insane huge bumps and awesome unforgettable moments. New Jack and Spike began tagging in 1998, and with New Jack being a high flyer, Spike followed suit with some balcony dives. '98 saw him wrestle the Usual Suspects. He tagged with Tommy Dreamer, New Jack, and the Sandman, taking on the Dudleys. Spike lost the TV title match to champion Rob Van Dam. He had a long singles feud with Sal E. Graziano. '98 would come to a close with 2 losses to TV title champion Rob Van Dam. 1999 began with more jobbing to RVD and his title. He wrestled Mustafa, Big Dick Dudley, Lance Storm, and Taz. During 1999,
Spike Dudley had multiple championship matches,
meaning ECW liked the way he performed and pushed Lil Spike as far as he could go. And at 1999's Heatwave, Spike tagged with Balls Mahoney, defeating the team of the Dudleys for his very first ECW Tag Team Championship victory. It was short-lived though, as they would drop it back to the Dudleys a month later, and then win it back literally the following day, on August 14. Spike polished off 1999 with matches against Just Incredible, Simon Diamond, Chris Candido, Mikey Whipwreck, Sal E, Rob Van Dam, Rhino, Jerry Lynn, Steve Corino, PN Nuez, Tajiri, and on November 12th of 99, Spike would take on FMW's The Gladiator, or Mike Awesome, and their series of matches would entertain the crap out of me. The 2000s rolled around and we saw much of the same. 2001 hit and hit hard. ECW was a fish out of water. Massive debt. Wrestlers getting bounce checks. TNN not seeing eye to eye. Paul Heyman had to file bankruptcy. ECW closed its doors on April 4, 2001. with Spike wrestling his last match January 13, losing to Rhino in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He worked for JCW, Independent Connecticut Championship Wrestling, IWA, and then got a call from an old friend, Bubba Ray Dudley. Spike was moving to the big leagues. His first match in WWF took place on March 20 of 2001, tagging with the Dudleys, and defeated the team of Edge, Christian, and Rhino via disqualification on WWF SmackDown. He then lost to Lita on Sunday Night Heat. He had a feud with Crash Holly, wrestled Tajiri, Team X Factor, and the Hollies. He was featured on SmackDown and Raw, and even had a title match against Stone Cold Steve Austin for the heavyweight belt on June 12th of 2001. Spike would be slotted with other wrestlers taking part in 6- and 8-man tag matches. He tagged with The Big Show, Kane. He had a set of matches with Chavo Guerrero Jr. He lost 2 light heavyweight title shots to X-Pac. He also lost 9 tag title opportunities, another 3 for the European Championship, and 2 for the Hardcore title. Was he winning? Well, yes, just not many title matches. He took on big names. Spike's first year in the company was decent, 90 matches in 9 months, winning 35 bouts. It's not great, but it's not bad either. He was on SmackDown, Raw, and even took part in 2001's King of the Ring, SummerSlam, Unforgiven, Survivor Series. Matt busted his ass off since day one, and it shows. 2002 is here, the end of the Attitude Era. Spike Dudley tagged with Taz on January 7. He won the WWF tag titles from the Dudleys on Raw. He defeated Team Christian and Lance Storm, Dudleys, Albert, Scotty 2 Hotty, Ty and Ty, Billy and Chuck, the APA, Booker T and Test, Crash and Funaki. Taz and Spike lost the belts to Billy and Chuck on February 19 SmackDown. During this tag run, he also worked as a singles wrestler against Brooklyn Brawler, Rico, Booker T, Brock Lesnar. He lost 4 WWF light heavyweight matches to X-Pac in March. But in April, Spike won the European title from William Regal 3 seconds on Raw. He would drop the belt back to Regal 1 month later, on April 29. I can mention everything he did from 2003 to 2005, but instead I'll give you the cliff notes while showing you a montage because he was busy as hell. In 2005 was Spike's last year in the company. He would wrestle Paul London, Bobby Lashley, Billy Kidman, Heidenreich. His last match was on WWE Velocity, of all shows, losing to Funaki and Nunzio, which I found to be a crappy send-off, especially for someone like Matt who put his 150-pound body on the line every day and made future WWE talent look like $1 million. He was part of the 2005 massive talent release turnover. Matt went on record stating that his release from the WWE was a blow to his mental health. He also turned to boozing every day. Also, now we're in 2023, where is Spike's WWE Hall of Fame? Spike, unaware of what to do, jumped on the indie circuit, mangling his body for much smaller promotions. The list goes on. He would eventually get hired on by Jarrett's promotion, TNA, where he was rebranded as Brother Runt, but the crowd still yelled out Spike. Spike mentioned he was drinking heavily at this point. He hated working for TNA due to the lack of direction for his character, awful booking, and mismanagement. He would eventually train wrestlers for Top Rope Wrestling. Anyway, Spike would do sporadic TNA appearances in the late 2000s and 2010s, until hanging his hat up on December 25th of 2015, wrestling his last match, a 3-way between Jason Axe and Jimmy Olsen. Now I know that for the most of you, Spike is just that guy who went through tables and took painful looking bumps religiously, but he should be recognized and idolized for more than that. Spike proved you didn't need to weigh more than 150 pounds to become a pro wrestler. He wasn't a cruiserweight, which is what most wrestlers his size would be pulled into. He wasn't a 250-pounder, meaning he shouldn't be doing power moves. If it wasn't for the likes of Spike, I don't think you would see half of AEW's current roster. Spike stuck to his role of the tiny man who would get his ass kicked and refuse to stay down. And I think there will always be a place for one special wrestler just like Spike Dudley in the wrestling industry. Thanks for sticking around. Thank you for sharing these videos with your friends. And I'll see you all on the 16th for another episode of Wrestling Through the Ages.